So it's 3:40 in the morning, but I've had this shit on my mind for probably the last couple of weeks, a month or so, and I just want to kind of get it out there. And I don't really know where I'm going to go with this. I only have the words failed potential on paper, so this is kind of just going to be me ranting at my blank screen for a little bit, but something I've been struggling with is basically my potential. Yeah, like the idea of doing what you want to do, things you want to pursue in life versus what's expected of you. Like, your upbringing, what your parents, your friends, what they think of you, and what they want you to do in life. And it's something that I've been struggling with. Something I don't haven't talked about is that I'm an aspiring art major. And from the first moment when I even brought it up with my friends, it was met with a lot of opposition because it's seen as a joke field. They don't understand why you would go to school for something that's so easily self-taught. And it's a thought that I think about a lot, considering I'm thinking about uh, finally going to school, going to college for art, and the tuition is pretty steep. So I've been trying to figure out if it's something I really want to do, because once I pay that money, I know I don't want to give up at that point. That's dedication. The money going in is too far. It's too much money to not full send into it, and it's something I want to do. It's the only thing I want to do. It's the only thing that's been keeping me motivated for the last 3-4 years, even through this quarantine situation, because I've been forced to take a gap year. So I've been out of school for an entire year, not doing anything, not leaving my house. Pursuing art has been the only things that's kept me sane. It's been my ground, my floor, the one thing I know I can come back to, because it's my main motivator, and I want to pursue it. But at the same time, I have this very overlying fear that the moment I make it my career, I'm not gonna enjoy it anymore, or I'm not good enough to succeed in the field, or I just won't make enough money to make it feel like the investment of going to college was worth it. I have a lot of fears related to pursuing my dreams, and I think half of it comes from that I have a good idea of what to do if I didn't go to college. Um, One main thing is that both my parents, my dad especially, mainly, are now self-made entrepreneurs. They both run their own businesses, yada yada, etc., etc. And over the years, I've watched and I've listened to my dad spit countless hours of facts. He tells me all about finances and how to get ahead and all of this, and I've always shoved it off, but it's always kind of come back to me now. And recently I've been thinking about it, especially since they've been so okay with my older brother. I have an older brother not going to college. I've realized that I don't know if I want to go to college. I can't separate the idea of going to college to actually pursue my dreams and going to college just so I don't have to live in the same house for another year. It's been like a conflicting thought that I will go over at a later point, because I don't want to sidetrack too hard, because that's a whole other feeling that I can't possibly explain in a short period of time. But basically, I've been dealing with a lot of inner conflict between doing what feels like I want some having issues doing what I want to do versus what I feel like I should be doing. And it's a demonizing feeling, to say the least. I Even though both my parents seem supportive on paper, I can't help but feel that they're kind of disappointed in my life choices. Like, they've had a very large involvement in my quote unquote love for academics growing up. Always was top of my class, always studying, quote, so people think. I went to a whole separate high school from 10th to 12th grade because of my academics. I wanted to feel challenged. And I feel like to basically throw away 12 plus years of basically reinforcing habits to have me be intellectually ahead of my peers, my classmates, I'm just kind of throwing it all away at a field that really costs too much to get into and doesn't you don't need to go to college for. I feel like this is a huge waste. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of money, and it's just overall disappointment and the feeling of just trying to understand what I want to do while still trying to please my parents. It's been tearing me apart. It's something that I don't really want to talk about. I don't talk about it a lot. I haven't talked about it with anyone because it's just, I don't know, it feels embarrassing and I don't know why. I think just because to an extent all the people around me have kind of figured out what they want to do, or on paper in front of me, to my perception it seems like everyone kind of knows what they're doing right now, or they're kind of solid in footing. It makes me feel even worse to try to talk about some of the most basic things, because I could easily do something I don't enjoy doing. I could start working 9 to 5s once quarantine ends. I could start picking up random online gigs, make enough money, move out, and live, a mediocre life doing all these random things for money and not really pursuing anything. But I'm a very big advocate for doing for yourself and doing things that you please, because I just feel like life's a little too worthless to do a bunch of things you don't really care to fucking do. It doesn't really make sense to me. There's too much going on for me to spend, a couple years or so, year even, working at Walmart if it's not working to something greater. I'm fine with doing things you don't want to do, but when it's not working towards an end goal or something you want to do, it feels like a waste of time. I'd honestly rather kill myself than do something I don't want to do for the rest of my life, because excuse me, that's just not living. There's no enjoyment. No one's forcing me to be here. I didn't want to be here. I didn't ask, obviously. So I just don't see the point in spending my time, my energy, dealing with all these griefs, emotions, trials, and tribulations to ultimately achieve something, to achieve nothing, or achieve something I don't even want to achieve. I don't really care about most things as much as I do have a lot of feelings I want addressed. I want to be stable. I want to not feel alone all the times. I want more friends, better friends I can connect with else that isn't behind 2 computer screens. I feel like even if I was to get everything else I wanted, if I had to do it all by doing something I didn't want to do for 5, 10 years, and I have to keep doing it to maintain that lifestyle, it's just a waste. I'd honestly just rather kill myself at that point, because it's just not what I want to do. I just really want to do what I want to do in this life. It just feels right to do it, and that's what's kind of been keeping my head focused on the path ahead of me to try to pursue this art, because I realized that this art was kind of my last ditch plan. It was Pursuing art was something I figured out I wanted to do when I was out of school due to a lot of mental health issues and a lot of depression and suicidal anxiety building up. And I told myself that, like, if I want to keep going on in life, I need to have a goal finally to work towards. And I told myself that art would be the thing that I would work towards. So I feel like to just kind of throw it all away and just start divulging into a life that might be completely mediocre, I might as well just. It feels like I'm pulling the plug on myself. I've been lying to myself. I backstabbed myself, and the feeling of betrayal towards yourself, not even towards a family member or a friend, is it's heart wrenching. There's just the thought of just kind of giving up and not doing what I want to do, and not really enjoying myself and not working towards at least some other goal that I want to work for. It just feels like a terrible feeling, because I've lived a good portion of my life on autopilot. Everyone would ask me what I wanted to do, and I'd give them some standard response like, oh, I want to go into computer science, or I want to be an engineer, etc., etc. But none of those words growing up really had any meaning. I've never really wanted to know what I wanted to do. Never knew what college is, nothing. No, I never gave it thought. So I've always just kind of been like, I just kind of see something and then I just kind of work forward towards it. I went to school simply because I was told to go to school. I chased advanced education to primarily have a different place to live. But again, I will probably talk about that at a later date. Maybe the next video. I don't really know. But most of my efforts in life and strides haven't really been met with purpose more than just kind of moving forward. And I'm finally reaching this point where I need to decide what I want to do, because there's so much onto the line, and this will inevitably decide my future. And as much as I feel like I'm failing myself and I'm letting a lot of people down, because this just seems like a turn out of left field, and it's not very profitable in most people's eyes. So it just feels like I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting my potential. I think I need to continue moving forward, because it just, even when it feels so wrong, it just feels right. It just doesn't make sense to me on why would I enjoy waking up in the morning to do something I don't want to do, and it's not working towards something else. Because as much as I love the arts and everything around it, I have a very weird sensation that if I don't go to college, I'm just going to get caught up in other things, so I can just advance, and I'll just fall out of love with even trying to monetize making art, and just like that, the entire passion disappears. And if that passion disappears, I don't really know what I'm going to do with myself. I don't really spend my time effectively to begin with. So at this rate, if I didn't go to college, I'd just be living in my parents' house for a couple months, a year or two more, losing more friends because I feel isolated to a hell-bent degree. And I just spend all my time just playing games and counting the days down, not really looking forward to anything. And it just sounds so miserable to live like that. So I don't think I want to live like that. I think I'm gonna fucking balls to the walls, man. I'm just gonna give up on everyone else's thoughts of me and just kind of chase whatever I want to do. And hopefully I'll make it somewhere. And if I do, then I can look back to these tapes and I can finally feel accomplished for the first time in a while, because I finally got myself out that rut. And if I don't make it, well, I can't even say it's been a good life, but I've been alive for a while now, and I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting for 25 at this point. I think that'll be a fun year to hit. So anyway, I think that's enough staring at white and blue. I'm kind of running out of words here, so I think that's about it.